Hey everybody, hey traders, Chris Pulver here. Welcome back to an Eightcap masterclass. This is another installment for the earnings season report for 2024. Today I'd like to go through the macro and stock projections, what we have coming up this week. Monday the 15th of January is going to be a holiday for the U.S., so no companies reporting earnings on Monday. That's Martin Luther King Day. But Tuesday through Friday, let me get the numbers here. We have 13 on Tuesday, 11 on Wednesday, 25 on Thursday, and 9 reporting on Friday. Let me do the numbers on that really quickly. It's a pretty quiet week. We just kicked things off last week. So we have 13, 11, 25, and 9. So we have 58 companies reporting earnings this week. I do have some notables. And I also wanted to review how things have kicked off thus far with the early results in earnings season. So right now we have about 6% of the S&P 500 that have reported earnings and actual results. So we are just getting started. There's a lot more to come in the coming weeks. This is interesting, though. 7 of the 11 sectors are expected to report lower earnings due to negative EPS estimates. Also, the current forward 12-month price to earnings of the S&P is 19.5, which is running a little higher than the 5 and 10-year average. The 5-year average is 18.9. The 10-year average is 17.6. Anytime we start to see the 12-month PE ratio of the S&P get to like 24, 25, we tend to notice some pretty decent corrections, technically some overextended conditions. The bullish market gets a little long in the tooth. So we'll be watching for that really closely. Some notables, like I said, Monday is U.S. holiday, Tuesday through Friday with the companies we have reported earnings for. Some of the ones that I picked out, I might be looking at this week in my trading rooms. Interactive brokers. Let's see kind of the health of the overall brokers. Interactive brokers, one of the largest ones in the world. They are sitting on like $100 billion in cash, and so let's see what the trading world looks like. Also, Charles Schwab is an investment bank and brokerage as well. Some more financials. We'll look at PNC Financial Services, Huntington Bankshares, Fifth Third Bank Corp, Comerica, CMA. Two that I'm particularly interested in this week, and I might actually put an earnings trade on AA for Alcoa. It's a large aluminum manufacturer here in the U.S., and TSM is Taiwan Semiconductor. Everyone knows of NVIDIA nowadays since the crazy run they had in 2023. TSM is in that same landscape. It's in that same competitive space. And I would like to see what those price out to be. So for this video, let's use this segment to look at Alcoa and TSM and see if we can find something that we like. So let's go earnings history right here. Pretty consistent on the average. The average is 9.37%. We look back at the last 9 prints, 9 and 10, which is really good. So consistently, we're starting to see 9 to 10%. Average is 9.37. I'm going to keep that in mind for a calculation during this week's earnings. From what I see, Alcoa is an after bell earnings report on Wednesday. That is Wednesday the 17th. And let's talk post earnings. So we print negative 0.1 and we continue that way for 3 to 5 days, which is nice. So that's going to determine what type of expiration I'd like to use on Alcoa. If I just did a Wednesday after bell or after market and then I did a Friday expiration on the I guess that'd be the 19th of this week. That might not be enough time, so I might actually look out to the 26th for an earnings play. I can go long the stock, I can go short the stock, I can let the winner run and try to hit that 9+% move. What that equates to in a price standpoint, let's find out in just a moment. But we have 1 to 9. We have positive 1 that flips around to -6. That's a 7+% swing. We have 3% that ends up pushing 3-5 days to 7+%. 4 pushes to 7 and change. 5 negative flips around and goes from 3 to 9% positive. That's a huge swing, almost 14%. 5% actually reduces and kind of falls back a little bit, but 8 days later is at 9%, which is around the average. -7 pushes all the way to 22% in 3 days. That's impressive. So I do think Alcoa has some good juice behind these earnings reports, which means I'll likely play it this week. Let's go to TSM. And first, let me go 9.37 on this stock. So here's my 8-cap feed. Let's go to Alcoa. We're trading at 30.03. If we have a 9.37% earnings, the stock price is trading at 30.03 and times 0.0937. That means a $2.81 move. And if I go into my weekly average, let me go to Alcoa here, go to the weekly average. So $2.81, and the weekly here showing an average of 335. So an earnings play might actually be less, but what's nice is typically an earnings report is a larger catalyst where we tend to see a bigger move than the weekly average. So right now we're seeing a weekly average of 3.35. This is going back 14 weeks, so I know that this big rip we had here in the middle of December was a big jump in Alcoa. That we had a low at 24 and a high at 32. That is an $8 candle, I believe, right? $24 to 32 change. Yeah, so about an $8 candle. That's massive compared to the average, which may have thrown off this a little bit. But over the last 14 weeks, getting an average up there at 3.35, and the earnings expectation is 2.81. So again, I'll see what the options are priced out to be. This one might be a good candidate for some type of straddle, or again, same level. Long, short, put in a stop loss, see if we have a gap that gets filled, go after that, $3 move, $4 move, maybe a $5 move, and see if we can take some profit on the upside. All right, now let's take a look at TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor. Let's go earnings history. And this average is 6.5. I'm seeing here, low fours all the way to fives and sixes. So 6.5 is the average. Let's go into the post earnings and see if there's some extra push on those. This one prints around 4, stays right there. -4 pushes a little bit further. 1 stays there, then flips around about a 4% swing. Just shy of 4% pushes to 6 plus. -1 flips around to 4. That's a nice little swing of 5%. 2 stays right there, pushes to 5. 2 flips around for a 5 or 5.5% swing. 6 stays right in line for 3 to 5 days. So again, fairly consistent. I think that the 6+% might be a stretch. It looks like a lot of those prints are, 3%, 4%. Take a look at the post earnings open 3, 4, 1, 3, 1, 2, 2, 6. Going 6+% might be a little on the high side. So I'll see how this one prices out. Let's go to the stock price here. TSM is trading at 101. Looking at a 6+% move. I think that I'll be a little bit more conservative on this one. If we're looking at earnings history at 6+%, I'm just going to go 6 and see what that gets us. That's going to be roughly a $6 move. Let's check the averages here. So the weekly average is 4.95. And if we have a 6% move, 0.06 times 101.24. So between 495 on the weekly average to 607 on the somewhat conservative earnings forecast. I could see a couple things happening here on TSM. So the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, we've been kind of stuck in this little range. Let's see how big that range is. So we have a high around 105. We have lows around 98. So it's about a $6 or $7 range. What would be really nice for this earnings season would be to see a gap lower or higher, and let's say that we can go after this high or this low. Now, again, that's a big move, and you can see that these candles are certainly capable of going more than just $4 to $6. So let's check on a couple of these recent ones. We have an 83 to 92. That's a $9 candle right there. We have a 62 and change to a 74. That's a $12 candle there. We have this long high 119 with a spike down to 104. That's a $15 candle. Again, so looking at some catalysts with TSM, possibly we can get a bigger move. Same type of situation. I like the 101. If I were to, put a pending buy or just get in, let's see when TSM prints. Let me check and see where that earnings report is going to be. TSM. I see TSM on Thursday before open. So this will be a pre-market on Thursday morning, which means the expiration for me, I might not go out to just the 19th. If I'm looking at the expiration here, if it's pre-market the 18th, I will probably consider 19th end of day. That'd probably be fairly inexpensive to take that trade and just look for the earnings gap and see if it pays. If I go into the next week, go into the 26th, maybe there's some extra push over the next week. We'll also have a lot more earnings coming out from the 22nd to the 26th, which could give the market some overall volume and volatility to see if there's just more to print. Only having 58 stocks printed this week. We had 30-something last week or 20-something last week. So what I really like, and when you really start to see earnings season kicking off, is when we have, 100 stocks reporting earnings or 500 stocks reporting earnings. I mean, there's 7,000 publicly traded companies. So when you start to get big numbers and there's 1,000 plus companies reporting, that tends to move the overall market with what these consensuses are giving us. All right. So for me this week, Alcoa, symbol is AA, and Taiwan Semiconductors, symbol is TSM. Those are going to be the trades I'm looking at. I will debate on the expirations most likely when I'm talking about it with my trading rooms. Probably the 19th if I want to be just inexpensive, do a little earnings play, buy and sell, stop out quickly, get the winner to run for net profit. If I do some options trades, I talked about this in my previous video, just learning some simple stuff like a strangle or straddle could work out really nicely. And I could also see the extension of those moves where I might, fade the move if it gaps higher, might fade that. If it pushes down, I might fade that. So there's a variety of option trades I can do as well. But expiration for me, the 19th, would be inexpensive to trade that if I'm long options. If I did the 26th, then possibly looking at some sell option opportunities, but I'll talk about that this week in my trading rooms. So if you have any questions, let me know. You get a hold of me. I hope these videos are helping you out with the 8-Cap Masterclass series. And my name is Chris Pulver. Happy trading, lots of profits. Talk to you soon.